What I'm about to show you is completely insane. It's a mainstream Labour MP, and not only is he outlining what scumbags he thinks you are, he's also outlining how deluded the Labour Party are in general. With the Labour Party set to get in at the next election, this is very much a sign of things to come, so hold your hats. Now, a warning before we begin, this video is extremely cringeworthy, so I'm going to break it up and explain what he actually means to help you get through it. This MP is called Clive Lewis. Here we go.
Here in the UK, we have a far-right government that openly uses racism and Islamophobia to divide communities.
So firstly, this guy believes the Tory Party, the modern Tory Party, are far-right, despite all of its base deserting it because they think it's too left-wing. Remember, by using words like far-right, he wants to stir up images of Mussolini and Nazism and so forth. So if he thinks that the modern Tory Party are akin to that, led by Rishi Sunak, of course, what does he think of you? What does he think of the average Conservative voter who is sick of the Tory Party? Now we've learned at this point that Islamophobia means anything that's not glowing about Islam, and racism means anything that's not glowing about multiculturalism. I mean, just try it and say anything, even mildly negative about those things in the mainstream, and you'll find out what happens. The translation here, of course, is what he's saying is, you must go along with our program, otherwise you'll be completely outcast and worse than Hitler.
Talks openly about legislation for deportations and taking people, sending people to Rwanda.
Sorry to stop the video, but I just had to say, look how smug his face is here. He's got that sorry to be the one to have to break this harsh news to you face. And we're getting even more insane now. What is wrong with a political party talking openly about its aims? The whole point that the public want is to hear about what politicians want to do. Should they keep their aims quiet? Is that what you're saying? And this Rwanda line, again, we all knew that was never going to happen. It will never get past the human rights lawyers and so forth. The whole point the Tory Party did it was to try and win back some of their base. But more importantly, what would be the problem with sending immigrants to Rwanda anyway? I thought you guys were very pro-multiculturalism. Rwanda's very multicultural. Surely that would make it an amazing place to go, no? And the translation of what he's saying here is you may never have any policy against immigration at all. If you do, you're racist.
Two key things that came out of this conference, in my opinion, that I think are worthy of note in this very brief video. The first is that accommodating far-right ideas does not benefit social democratic or left parties. What it's done when they've done it, it's mainstreamed far-right ideas on deportations, on immigration, and general racism.
So here we get an idea of what he thinks far-right ideas are. They are deporting anyone, criticising immigration and racism. And again, the translation of this is you may not deport anybody ever, no matter what they've done. You must be always pro-immigration, and you must never offend anyone of the liberal order, because that's what they really mean by racism. I'm not pro-bullying anybody, but what they mean these days is don't go against a liberal ideology.
People, proper terms and conditions at work, and an increased living standards. That means investing in infrastructure and in our future. That's what social democratic parties did after the Second World War with the defeat of fascism in that war. That's what we must do again if we're to stop the rise of the far right.
First of all, the Social Democrats didn't break fascism. It was the UK, the USA, and especially the Soviet Union. And for those who've been paying attention, he started by saying the Tory Party are far-right, and he's now saying we have to smash fascism. What he means is we have to smash anyone who's not a Labour Party Liberal voter. It's quite shocking how deluded and moronic this guy is, but this guy is going to be in the government soon. The Labour Party are almost certain to win. And this is what we've got coming in store. And it's very ironic because despite Labour MPs like this fella making this speech, he's actually going to inflame a far right way worse than anything it would be if idiots like him weren't producing videos like this. I've never known things to be as divided as they are now, largely down to MPs such as this. However, do let me know your thoughts down below and do consider subscribing to the channel.